Game started.
Okay, c4-10. Well, here, let's try knight f3 and see if he goes for c5. Yeah, I mean, if he plays c4 as white, why not play c5 as black? Get into an English kind of setup. So I usually try to break the symmetry by playing e3 and d4. I guess you can play d4 right away. The question is, can you play d4 here? And d4, I guess it's a pawn sack. d4, pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, knight takes, and yeah, he's got enough defenders on it. Well, that's too bad. Okay, so let's just go with d3 then, and I'll put my knight on this d5 square if I can. So he's going like that. Now, I don't know where his knight is going, so let's prevent it from coming in here and attacking the d-pawn. So, kind of close up the center like that, e4. He can undermine. I think he can get to this square, can't he? I want to allow f5. Well, he's canceled on the king side, so maybe f5 is not such a big deal here. If I play f4, I mean, bishop g5, pinning the knight. Or maybe knight g5. Threatening to come into f7. Okay, so queen here first. Queen b3, knight g5 to d6. And the queen supports the knight on d6. I guess, yeah, okay, my bishop is supporting the knight, so if he tries a tactic like knight takes, I can just take his knight. So let's see if this is good for anything. It's good for capturing the light-squared bishop, which is actually a pretty good piece in his pawn structure. Yeah, he can win the pawn back, I guess. That's the problem. So is there a way to defend with the bishop? I could take. And bring the bishop to bring the bishop to d5. He can go back here or back there, or he can go. It's a good square here for his knight on d4. Okay. So let's move the queen. Or maybe I should develop the bishop first. So bishop here. And we can take it with the knight. That might be okay for me. And now, do I move the queen, or do I leave the knight there for a moment? Well, this knight here is kind of annoying. Knight to knight to f3 check. You know, I could take it with the other bishop, but I guess I'd rather give up my dark squared bishop and keep the light squared one. So now, put the rook on the open file. So I have two loose pawns in this structure, this one way up here and this one back here. He's blockading with his queen, which is not ideal. If I could double on the c-file, that would be good for me. Get a rook to c7. If he tries to oppose, I can actually just take. And it looks like I'm winning the pawn on b7. So maybe this was a successful experiment. And his bishop is kind of blocked in by his own pieces, but he can push ahead. I'm not blockading the e-pawn, so he could push up ahead e4, e5 to e4 and open up his diagonal this way. So eventually this will become a good piece. So I need to strike now, I think. So I'm thinking rook c7 to b7. Or maybe even to d7, try and undermine his pawn chain here. Yeah, that's an interesting defense because I can't play rook c7 now. It goes to, it hits. His queen is hitting f2, and I need this rook to defend f2. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm moving my queen to hit d6, and also it could come back on the dark squares to d2 and defend f2 that way, if needed. And I don't think he can sacrifice a rook by playing rook to c8, because I'll take it, queen f2 check, the king goes to the corner, and there's no more checks. Unless, oh, so he just defends there. Okay, so this is my idea. Queen back to d2 to defend laterally. And then I could have played rook c7 immediately, huh? But he could have just gone back, perhaps. Seems like this domination of the 7th ought to be good for something. Domination of the c-file and the rook on the 7th. Rook f7 is an idea. Rook f7 and then the other rook to c7 would be pretty devastating, I think. So somehow he was just a little bit too slow here. So after rook f7, where does the queen go? Here and here are out. Up and down is out. Right and left is out. So the only move is back to d8, I think. And then I can play rook c7. And how does he defend? Oh, then he brings his rook over to defend the bishop. Is there something else? How about pawn to e7 hits the queen. Rook takes, queen takes. It's probably okay. So rook here. Should be worth something to dominate the 7th rank, but he can defend with rook to g8. So that's why I was looking for something else. But maybe, yeah. Okay, so if I move my rook to d7, the queen goes somewhere. Then I can play the pawn to e7 and also hit the rook. So rook d7, queen to, where's the queen going? Maybe on the f file. Yeah, f8 or f6. and then pawn to pawn to d7, e7. Yep, pawn to e7 hits the queen, and I'm hitting the queen and the rook simultaneously. So maybe the queen should have gone to f6 instead of f8. Okay, yeah, so the queen went to f6.
Check.
So definitely f6 would have been the move. So he can bring the rook in, or the king. If he comes with the king, rook here, check. Rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Pawn here, check. Rook takes, bishop, queen takes, rook takes. Would be good. That would leave me a queen against a bishop, a queen against a rook. But he doesn't have to take, does he? I guess he does have to take.
Check.
He has to take with the rook here. It's in this
Check.
position here. Does he have to take with the queen? But if he moves the queen away, I'm a rook up. So if he takes, then I'm going to be left with
Check.
a queen against a rook. And he has some pawns. Should be good, though. Use the queen to start instituting these double attacks. It's really hard to defend. Can't defend both those pawns, in fact. His rook would have to be on this square. And that's the problem with rooks. They don't move diagonally. So he goes there so I can grab the d-pawn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I've evened the pawn score. So I just need to kind of undermine his pawn center here and open things up a bit. Takes, queen here. Maybe I should take back first. So he's got a check here, king f2. Rook e1 check, king f2. And if the rook attacks a pawn, I can defend with the queen by taking on on d4 there. Okay, yeah, I don't know. What else does he have besides the check? Rook check, king here. Rook could go after this pawn. Okay. I just want to gobble up these loose pawns. Now I've got a passed pawn here. And this pawn is protected. Everything's protected now. And also, when the rook starts to roam around, you always have to be careful about these queen forks that pick up a piece.
Check.
But he could go to h1 there, hitting this pawn. Be a bit annoying. I just ran back. Okay. So what's my next move?
Server announcement. Check.
Just get out of the way with tempo and start pushing the d-pawn, I guess, is my plan. So if the king up, then the pawn to d5 actually defends the f-pawn. He can play his rook there, can't he? Yeah, there's always something. If we back up, if he played his rook here, I could actually take it with the queen because king takes, and then this pawn becomes a queen. So that's an interesting tactical point there. He can't really come forward too far with his king when I have an advanced pawn that's marching down like this, because I can just trade off the queen and have a winning pawn. Right. So in a situation like this, I need to keep pushing forward, I think. Huh. Let's see. So if I go here with the queen, he can bring his king in. Can I get there more quickly? The check here, king e7, check here, king moves, front of the pawn. It's not so simple, is it? Oh, here, I can do the same trick again. If the king goes to e7, I can just take the rook.
Check.
Because he can't take the queen, I'll just get a new queen. Now, all these tactics when you have that advanced pawn there. You often see this kind of trick with the bishop, but not so often with the queen.
Black resigns.
Okay, good game. I'm going to upload this and see you guys later. Bye.